computer. Okay, hello everyone. I am Christina Taylor, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from North Canton, Ohio. And today I'm coming to you to share a couple projects using our third in color, or third featured one, Annie, for the In Color Club. Um, and almost like, which color am I showing you here? That's Barely Blush. That is our new light, really light pink, really beautiful soft pink. And I'll show this a little bit more once I turn the camera down. Anyway, I'm sharing a couple projects with you today. One is using the Begonia Bell product of the month for this month of July that you can get for $5 with a $75 purchase. It's a beautiful stamp set, has some nice sentiments in it. And then the other stamp set that I'm using is the Botanical Expressions, which is a new online exclusive that came out here in July. So that's a fun one, and we're going to use the die that goes along with that. But the star of the show is the Barely Blush, which is the in color that we are highlighting. So I'm so happy that you're joining me today. And if you're crafting along, if you're part of the In Color Club and you've got your card kit packet that came in your bundle of products, then you can craft along with me. If you're just watching this and crafting along on your own, I'll give the measurements and you can craft along too. All right, I'm going to turn the camera down. Technology is a little difficult today. Let me see. I'll replace this. There we go. Okay. All right, so now you should be able to see my work surface here. Let me add a little bit of light onto the subject here. Get a little bit more light there. There we go. It's a little bit better lighting. Okay, so this is giving you a quick peek at the two projects that we're doing. We're making this card featuring our pearlized designer series paper, which I don't know if the light is catching it. There you go. You can see that shine behind it. This is stunning. This would look just beautiful in any of the in colors. But a really simple, understated kind of card, but that gives a big impact with that color palette with the gray granite and the Barely Blush. And then we've got this one with the Begonia Bell. We're also using the Frames and Phrases die cuts here, some of the ribbon, doing a little two-step stamping. So I'll take you through this one too. Okay, I've got my supplies to start that one first. Before we start, I'll just bring in a bundle here so you can kind of, let me see if I can actually get it in the, let's see, that's okay. If I can get it in the frame there, it's kind of, I don't want to hit the camera like I did last time. So let's go like that. I've got it all packaged together. So you've got your pearlized designer series paper, or specialty paper. You've got your Barely Blush designer series paper, and you've got two pieces of your two-toned Barely Blush cardstock. Then you've got, of course, your ink pad, your ink refill, the butterfly gems, the in color dots, both in Barely Blush, and then your ribbon, right? So that bundle is 48, which is what is the base of the In Color Club. And then you could add on these Stampin' Blends for $14 extra a month. Or you could get the shimmer brush, which is like Wink Stella with a pop of color in each one. You could add that on for $12 a month. Well, in addition to the 48. So those are always optional. And if you find that maybe didn't get them with the club and you find you want to use them, you can always add them on. They are available. So okay, so what we are using, of course, I had said the Begonia Bell. This is the product of the month stamp set. And I love I love flowers. Flowers and butterflies, it doesn't matter with the stamp sets. I just like that. And then in the wintertime, snowflakes. I'll just gravitate towards snowflakes. Like I need another set of snowflakes. Anyway, then we've got this nice little texture piece, which we're going to be using in today's project. And it's got some great sentiments. The best wishes, you are my sunshine, which I love. I really wanted to put it on this card, but I didn't because maybe not everyone loves it as much as I do. hopefully you'll love the card, but the sunshine, I was like, well, you might not want that. So I tried to do something general. In today's video, we're going to do the sending lots of happiness your way. And then there's also a thank you for everything that you do. The dies that we're using, as I mentioned, they are the frames and phrases dies, which here's the fourth one here. So this cuts out this embossed and die cut this oval piece with this fun shape label. Then you've got this scalloped oval, then this rectangle and this rectangle. We've used these before in class. So if you come to my in-person classes, you've gotten to use those. I've also shown them on videos too. So there's tons of ideas out there for them. It's a great set of dies, and the sentiments, which you'd have thought I would have grabbed them, but I did not. Great sentiment set, very versatile. So we're also using the Barely Blush ribbon. The inks that we're using are soft seafoam, of course, our new magnetic pad and the Barely Blush, the basic beige, and then I've grabbed some bubble bath in there for a little pop of a different color to kind of get that depth on the begonia. So I'll share with you how we're going to do that. So I'll set these things aside. So things that you will have in your kit, you're going to have your basic white envelope. You are going to have a piece of basic white that is 3.5 by 5. Another piece of basic white that's 3 3/4 by 5. You will have a piece of basic beige that is 4 by 5 1/4. And you can see, because I love to cut and die cut things out, punch them and everything, I have die cut this out of the center for you, and you will have this label piece. We're not using this one today, so you'll have this label piece already done for you, and you can kind of see that embossing and die cutting at the same time. Really, really cool product. So out of your supplies, you will need to cut a piece of Barely Blush cardstock that is 5.5 wide by 8.5 long, right? So you'll want to cut those out of your supplies. You will also need to cut a piece of your ribbon at 6.5 inches, and then you're going to need to cut another one at 3.5, which I will go ahead and do because I did not redo that. So let me just do this really quick. So we have got our ribbon. Okay. All right, so I've got my 2 pieces of ribbon, so we're ready to go with that. Put that aside. And then you're going to have another oval, the white one die cut out, just to kind of offset it on that labeled piece. I did put the label and the frame cutout on dimensionals. And when you're doing that, you want to be mindful to put the dimensionals on the 4 corners and maybe a little one here in the center to support, but not in the center itself here, because that's going to sit right on your ribbon and really won't adhere to the card. So make sure to put your dimensionals on the edges of that label piece. And I'll give you a trick on how I attach that so it all stays one piece. I'll show you as we're going along. I'll leave this up here just kind of to the side. Okay, so we're going to start by folding our card base in half. Grab that bone folder and flatten that crease. Okay. And we're just going to get right to the stamping. So I'm going to bring a foam mat in here because we are using photopolymer. We do want to use something to give a little extra cushion. We're going to start with our main piece. Let me get all my inks out here and supplies. Let me take these over here. Okay, so I've got my Barely Blush, soft seafoam. I'm just going to put these to the side. And then my basic beige. All right, and let's see, this one is going to go on. Wait, let me look here. I'm trying to, which one did I have? No, this is the Barely Blush one. That is the bubble gum or bubble bath. I always want to say bubble gum. And those 2 go to seafoam. Okay, I'm just kind of talking out loud to myself. silently, but actually verbalizing it. Okay, so I am inking the first stamp. And this is like the larger background area. I'm inking this with the bubble bath, and then I'm going to stamp it off once before I ink it on my cardstock. Right? And I'm going to do that again and move it to a separate space and do that again. Okay. I'll let that sit there. Then I'm going to come in with the fill-in part to kind of get these textured pieces, a little bit of depth right there. Ink that. Try to hover it over here without getting my head into the shot. Okay. Again. And I'm stamping this full strength, not stamping it off. Okay. Then I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do my begonias on the other pieces while I've got the pink out, and then we'll just kind of put that aside. So again, I'm going to do the bubble bath, stamp that off, put it down here in the center. We set that up there, and we'll just do the envelope, kind of complete this process for everything. So put that on our envelope on the back. Do a little right here on the front. Okay, so that one is done. Shut that ink up, and then we're going to come in with the detailed one. Putting that on the front. Just makes that flower just come to life. Okay. And we'll do that last piece on the inside too. Okay. All right, so I've got that all done. We'll set those two inks aside. Then we're going to come back in with some texture. So for that, I'm going to use the basic beige and do this textured stamp. Just these little dots. You can turn it around for whatever, if you need it to. I wanted it to kind of go in between those two. Let's see. Ah. Okay, so we've got some textured on there. Let's do a little texture on the envelope. Why not? Adds a little something extra. Oh gosh, I'm a little off the camera there. I'll try to do better. Let me bring that ink back around to the side so I can move my stamping pad up there. Okay, we've got all of that. Let me grab my Stampin' cleaner, my little chamois. So bring that in to clean the stamps because I didn't grab it before I started this. Okay, that off to the side. And then I'm going to take the, we're done with the, am I done with the basic beige? No, I want to use that on my sentiment. So I'm going to bring in the little leaf that's in the stamp set and just kind of put a little couple leaves on there. We'll do the same with the envelope. And I'm going to put another little one down here. And then for this one, I'm just going to bring them really where just I want to put a little extra color and add a little bit of interest for the eye. There we go. I like that one. Okay. And I've got little green leaves on everything else. Okay, we're good to go. And then I'm going to do that with the soft sea foam, our sentiment. So I've grabbed the sending lots of happiness your way. That could be for like really all kinds of, well, anything happy, really. So we're going to stamp that, clean that off, and we are ready to layer and assemble this card. Okay, let me get my pieces. Let's get this out of the way. I had to go get some Scotch tape for my little trick that I'm going to do here. On the label. Okay. So what I did for this, because I wanted to keep it like together like one piece, I kind of put it together like that, flipped it over. And then I just took two little pieces of Scotch tape, tucked it right at that end and the other end, but also grabbed the label in between. So there you can see a little closer. So it grabs both pieces. Then it gives you one whole piece to work with. It makes it a lot easier when you're trying to put your card together. Okay, so you know what? I looked at this and I'm like, that is not the right size. Look at that. That is so much bigger. I need to cut this down. Okay. The measurement I gave you is correct. I'm looking at yeah, the measurement I gave you is correct for the white. I don't know, I didn't cut it correctly. So let me I want to cut a little off of each side. So I'm cutting it to 3 3/4, which is what I thought it was. And then it needs to be cut down to 5. So take that off. Just cutting a little off of each because I don't want to lose the coloring, how I had put that on there. And then do I want to add anything? No, it's still a good representation of all things pretty. Okay, let me make sure that's right now. Yes, now we're so much better. I wonder if no, that wasn't right. I was like, did I use the wrong one? I don't know. All right, so we're gonna put some adhesive, and I might need to replace my white liquid glue here. I think it's getting towards the end of its use. Okay, so we've got that layered on our basic beige. Then we're going to come in with our ribbon, and I'm going to go back with that Scotch tape because if you've watched my videos, you know I love to tape Scotch tape. Tape the ribbon down with Scotch tape. It keeps it in place. Okay. Oh, and I may have cut that short. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I must have moved the ribbon when I went to cut it because that definitely make sure you cut yours at 6.5 inches because obviously this is a little short. But we're gonna make it work. It works. Okay, so we've got our ribbon line going down here. We're gonna come in with some dimensionals. And like I said before, we're gonna put them on the corners. Now, if you don't want to get that sag in the middle, you know, sometimes how you get that, you're doing things, you could take like the minis. I would use the minis myself. You can do what you'd like. And then take these little guys off. It's stuck to my finger. Okay. So then you're going to determine where you want the label. You can put it down low or you can put it up high. Let's on this one, I'm going to put it down since on the other one, I put it up high towards the top. See, so this one's towards the top. And then you're going to take your ribbon. I bet you I cut this one the wrong way too. And you saw me do that on camera. That's so terrible. Oh my goodness. So you're going to slide that little piece underneath, and then you're just going to tie that in just a simple tie. That way it gives you the ability to kind of move that knot. where you want it. But this is actually perfect right there. Now let me grab my scissors, clean up those ends. There we go. All right, then we'll put that on our card base. Let's get this guy on here. Okay. There we go. All right, then we're going to take and put this one down. Now, because I've got tape on the back of this one, I always like to use my Stampin' Seal. Gives it just a little bit extra. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my card base. So I've got the ribbon on there. I've got multiple layers. I want to make sure it adheres right away, and I'm not waiting on drying time. All right, there is our first card. So you can take your label and position at the lower part of the ribbon or the upper part, however you choose. All right, let me put this one aside. Come in with our supplies for the next one. I'll grab these out of the way. So this one is a simple, straightforward card too. I just really focused on the beauty of the stamps and the ink colors in this one, added a little highlight with our ribbon. So that's where my direction was going with this one. And on this one, we really focused on that color and of course the specialty paper with the pearlized designer series specialty paper. So let's bring this one in. So we are making this, you are wonderful in every way. You brighten my day. Oh, I love this so much. I just want to make it like in all the colors, quite honestly. Everything is straight flush to the card. Set that, flat. There's no dimensionals on that. So this is the stamp set and dies that we're using. So this is the Botanical Expressions die. You have that die cut out in your kit. So you'll notice in your supplies, I have cut your two-tone blush cardstock. We're using that on this project. And I've cut a 4 by 5¼ inch piece out so that I could die cut this for you so you could enjoy making this card as well. So just know that's already been cut for you out of your supplies. But this die is bundled together with the Botanical Expressions stamp set. And let me see if I can get that in there. So this is a great sentiment set. I love the mix of the fonts there with the type and then the script. Really, really pretty. All right. Those aside. And then we're using, of course, our Barely Blush Pink, which is our in color, and then Gray Granite, which is soft neutral. So in your card kit, if you're crafting along, you're going to have your white envelope. Then you are going to have a piece of the Gray Granite that's 5½ by 8½. You've got your two-tone piece of Barely Blush that, see, it's lighter on this side, darker on the other. The camera doesn't pick that quite up, but we're using the darker side. I cut it on the darker side. And then you'll need to cut from your pearlized specialty paper, you will need to cut a 2-inch by 5¼ inch piece of your specialty pearlized paper. You will have in your kit a 3½ by 5 piece of basic white also. This one is super straightforward and simple, but the elegance of it makes a big impact, I think. So we're going to score that, or I folded that, scored it with my bloom folder by flattening the crease. We'll set that aside. We're going to go ahead and just do a little stamping. Oh, and I grabbed this stamp out of the Nature's Symphony stamp set. I didn't bring the whole stamp set over here, but it's a current stamp set that is in our catalog offering. Really beautiful images and sentiments in there. Okay, so we will take our easy peasy magnetic lid off. Love these new pads. And then we've got our gray granite. So we're going to start by stamping the You're Wonderful in Every Way, and we're going to use our gray granite. We're going to stamp that right under that die cut image. Okay, so that's all set. Then we will bring in the little greenery piece. I thought it was very complimentary of the die that we're using. And we're going to ink that up and stamp that. Well, I meant to do it on the other side, but we'll work with it this way. It's fine. It'll be fine. Then we'll stamp some of that on the envelope because it's just going to be so beautiful when we put it together with our card. There we go. And a little bit on the front. Nice. I hope wherever you all are at and watching from that you are enjoying maybe some cooler temperatures. We have been very balmy and warm in Northeast Ohio, but we have had a bit of a cool down, and let me tell you, I'm here for it. It is nice. It's very nice outside. I've got the windows open. Oh, I love that so much. Hey. Back on. So we've got our ink stamps. We are all stamped. We are ready to layer and assemble. All right. So this one is cut so that it just hangs over the die cut area just a little bit. So what you can do is take your liquid adhesive and just run that down right down the edge. You could put adhesive on those little stems if you'd like. I didn't necessarily do that on mine because I liked that it had a little bit of movement to it. It was not adhered down. And you're just going to set this right over top of that die cut area. Flip that over. See how it gives you like a little lift there? I personally kind of like that. If you would like it to be all down, go ahead and put a little adhesive on those leaves. No worries, like whatever works best for you. And then because I've got those multiple layers, I'm just going to go ahead and put my adhesive, my Stampin' Seal right on my card base. And I'll set that down since that's still adhering with my liquid adhesive. Just shift that just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And then bring back in my Tombow liquid adhesive, which is really my go-to, but I do use the seal when I like really need to fasten something down and I don't want it moving around. There we go. And that is our second card. It comes together so easy, but so elegant and simple. Okay, so we've done that design, and then we've got this design. Envelopes there. There we go. Ooh, let me put them this way because you can't quite see them on the thing there. So we've put the label up top here, down below on this one. Just super simple cards, but so beautiful. Just so understated. The beauty of the die cuts and the images really comes through with this color. So I hope that you have enjoyed the projects that I have to share with you today. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comments, letting me know which one you liked and what colors you maybe want to try it with in addition to the Barely Blush. And you're welcome to share this video. Don't forget to like it. And if you're not a subscriber of my channel, please remember to subscribe, which should be right down in this area below. Somewhere down there on the video. I'm not good at like pointing like this, like somewhere down below, like right here. Anyway, all right. Thank you again so much for joining me. I hope that you use some time this weekend to create a little paper sunshine of your own so that you can brighten somebody's day, because it really can make a world of difference in somebody's day when they go to the mailbox and there's a handmade card in there and just with a heartfelt message instead of like a bill or like some bad news or just junk mail. So, anyway, but yeah, thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy stamping.